Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good Monday to you. Here we are back for another one in a flash. The weekend over already. I hope it was wonderful for you all. Some pretty nice weather throughout much of it. We've got some nice weather in the forecast, just not all the way throughout. And in fact, we've got a cold front that we've been talking about since I saw you last that's giving us some showers and storm chances tonight that will linger into your tomorrow. And we've got daytime highs fluctuating, a couple of other systems that will as well give us some shower chances, and about as much shower chances as we do sunshine in your forecast, which is updated in just a few moments. What a busy week we had coming into the office already. I have, of course, still to edit, but a really nice story we're putting together on the dedication to the Whit brothers over the course of the weekend, to World War II veterans who did not make it home from the war, but remembered and honored nonetheless over the weekend. The Sagersville City Council meeting tonight. We have a camera going there. I also will be taking a camera with me to the Magoffin County Community Day Foundation check presentation ceremony, wrapping up this year's Community Day festivities and festival with a bunch of money for a lot of nonprofit organizations. So we'll get you caught up with all of that and much more on tonight's show. It's no slouch either news-wise. We have just exiting the studio just a few moments ago, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles, who stopped in, actually still in the other room speaking with our editor Heather Oney, but I have a brief interview that I'll have for you in just a few moments as he makes his way through eastern Kentucky just a few weeks now before the election. Also have a two-car crash from last night in sports, just some quick scores from Friday Night Lights this past Friday night, but as well another story about the Conley Racing Team and their trip down south this past weekend. They didn't let a few obstacles get in their way, and that's putting it mildly. So we'll get to all of that in just a few seconds. Our first story tonight centers around a two-car crash that happened at the caution light, or excuse me, at the red light, is what we always refer to the intersection of the Mountain Parkway and 114. It was just a few feet from that red light where a Magoffin man rear-ended another vehicle. He was pinned in his car for several moments until he could be extricated by the Sagersville Fire Department and Magoffin County Rescue Squad individuals, and then transported to not one but two medical facilities thereafter. According to officials, both vehicles involved, one a local vehicle, were traveling west on 114 last night at the Mountain Parkway intersection when a white passenger car rear-ended this SUV. Once again, both vehicles traveling west. It appears as though the driver of the white passenger car, Silas Saylor, who is a member of the Sagersville Fire Department, came up on the stopped or slowed vehicle as traffic was stopped at the red light and failed to stop before colliding with the rear of the SUV. The impact was so severe that Saylor's vehicle was spun in a complete 180-degree fashion, while the large SUV was knocked several feet forward towards the red light. The two people in the blue SUV were treated on scene but refused medical transport to a hospital. Meanwhile, Saylor had to be extricated from his vehicle after being entrapped due to the wreckage. He was taken by ground ambulance first to an area hospital and then later transferred to another facility, we believe, according to speaking to family members, the St. Mary's Hospital, where he was being treated for multiple broken bones and internal injuries. He was wearing a seatbelt, according to local authorities, however, did suffer serious injuries as a result of the collision. Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dip, breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it. and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe, where even our ice is famous. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sayersville. 349-8785. High school football and drag racing make up our sports headlines in just a few moments. Right now, however, this interview, which I literally just did, unedited, with our Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles, who stopped by the Your News Today and Sayersville Independent offices on his way throughout eastern Kentucky. I think his ultimate goal tonight, landing him in Pikeville for an event there. Nevertheless, now seeking his second term, Dr. Ryan Quarles sat down with myself in the front of the newsroom, speaking about what he feels is most important and on the minds of Kentucky voters in regards to his office.
Well, the Department of Agriculture, obviously, we're charged with promoting Kentucky agriculture and our farmers and our 76,000 farm families and the $45 billion impact that agriculture has in the Commonwealth each year. But a lot of folks are surprised to learn that we're more than just cows, plows, and sows. In fact, the KDA is one of the largest regulatory agencies in the Commonwealth. I like to tell Kentuckians that if you buy gas at a gas station, weigh your truck on the side of the road, sell gold at a pawn store, check out at any grocery store or Walmart in Kentucky, if you're to buy a bag of mulch, ride a Ferris wheel, ride a zip line, or rent an inflatable for your backyard birthday party, it's the Kentucky Department of Ag playing a consumer protection role. A lot of folks don't realize that, but the KDA is in charge of making sure that when Kentuckians say buy a gallon of gas or a pound of meat at the deli, you're actually getting your fair share. Even at Kentucky airports, we are there to help keep business open in the Commonwealth.
What are some of the things that you're finding that specifically Eastern Kentucky, because that's where we are worried about or facing more than maybe what the rest of the state is?
Well, Kentucky agriculture thrives in all parts of the state. And in Eastern Kentucky, we're focused on Kentucky Proud, our farmers markets, but we're also trying to do a better job of managing our timber and woodlands across the state. That's one thing that I've been a vocal advocate about, is that we have 12 million acres of woods in Kentucky. A lot of those woods are owned by Kentucky farmers who may not know how to properly manage those long-term assets. And as the bourbon industry continues to boom, there's a need for hardwood in Eastern Kentucky. And so we're having conversations about doing a better job of managing that as well. Another thing that we are trying to do better in Eastern Kentucky is to make sure that we address food insecurity, particularly in our schools. There's a lot of young Kentuckians, including 1 in 5 Kentucky school children, who are food insecure. And we're trying to do a better job of reaching them at a young age. If a child goes home on the weekend and the last great meal they had was lunch on a Friday, when they come back to school on Monday, learning is usually the last thing on their mind. But in Eastern Kentucky, there are a few things that are assets here the rest of the state doesn't have. There's such a value on culture and tradition here, and oftentimes a lot of our best-selling Kentucky Proud items originate from Eastern Kentucky. And so we're trying our best, using Appalachia Proud, to tell the story of the farmers in this area.
Is there anything that you see on, I don't want to say necessarily on the horizon, there's things that have been around as far as on the discussion table like hemp for a long time, but is there any things that you see that really have a chance of being a salvation for Kentucky farmers?
Yes, we are running perhaps the best hemp program in America, and we made sure that hemp has an opportunity in all regions of Kentucky. So we have hemp literally from Pike County to Fulton County. 102 of our 120 counties have hemp in it this year. We don't know if it's going to replace tobacco, but for some farmers, they're making more than they ever did off hemp than tobacco, but we have some farmers losing money. We'll exceed $100 million in sales of Kentucky hemp-derived products coming from our state this year alone. And so it's the fastest area of agriculture in our state. Another thing I think we're going to see coming down the line is aggressive pursuit of my office after ag technology investments. We have large-scale greenhouses starting to be built in eastern Kentucky, one of which is App Harvest. There's others beyond that. These are 10, 15, 60 acres underneath glass, and that can help couple with the fact that Kentucky is a distribution state, that we're within 1 day's drive of 2/3 of the U.S. population. So why not use Kentucky with our strong heritage and tradition in agriculture, combine it with our logistics advantages, and let our state be a food hub for the rest of America? And those are conversations we currently have that could be a bright spot for eastern Kentucky. One last thing that we do is that we are on the lookout for illegal credit card skimmers at the gas pumps. We have 60,000 gas pumps in our state, and at no cost to the taxpayer, we are cutting down on criminal activity and actually help put people behind bars who have stolen credit card identities from vulnerable Kentuckians. And so as we go out and make sure the pumps are working right, we're also out there cutting down on credit card skimmers. And this is something that I believe benefits all Kentuckians, as we have prevented hundreds of thousands of dollars of credit card theft at the Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
And, of course, Democrat Robert Conway making up the other side of that November ballot. The election, of course, just days away on the 5th. We'll have more election coverage, I'm sure, between now and then. Real quickly, I don't have your community calendar in its entirety entered into or on screen, but I do have a very important announcement. The Women Chosen for a Purpose Value of Committee Ladies Conference, that's a mouthful, will be held on October the 26th. That is this week, of course, at the Church of God of the Union Assembly on Lemaster Drive here in Sagersville. That's the church by the Board of Education. Registration will begin at 9 o'clock that morning. The conference lasts from 10 until 1. They are serving lunch immediately following. All ladies, you are cordially invited to attend. For more information, contact Joanne McCarty at 793-2775. Again, that's this Saturday at 9 o'clock for registration, 10 till 1 for the Women Chosen for a Purpose Value of Committee Ladies Conference here in Sagersville. I'll get that on the calendar and remind you about it the rest of the week. I do have a couple of other quick announcements via your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Just two other quick reminders on our calendar that the Creepy Creek Haunted House, sponsored by the Middle Creek Fire Department over 114, will wrap it up this weekend with another frightfully Friday and Saturday night where all your nightmares come true. I heard they had a really scary and fun weekend this weekend past, and there's one more to go, only $5 per person. Next Friday and Saturday, this Friday and Saturday coming at 8 o'clock. And perhaps your last reminder, because if you haven't RSVP'd by now, you might want to do so at least by tomorrow, the Pink Carpet Affair Luncheon for our local breast cancer survivors is this Thursday at 11 o'clock at the McGoffin County Extension Service. Call to let them know you're coming at 349-3216. In funeral service announcements for this Monday, we've heard today of the passing of 80-year-old Jean Ramsey of Beetree, who passed away over the course of the weekend. Jean was preceded in death by her husband, Luther Jordan. She survived by sons Randall Bob and Robin Jordan and daughter Linda Howard. Visitation is tonight. Services will start tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the McGoffin County Funeral Home in Jean's honor. 69-year-old Mary Wilma Patrick of Sagersville passed away on today's date, preceded in death by her husband Jim Randall Patrick. I'm told arrangements are incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. You're going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. And all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles, but hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall, wrongful death. Your case matters to you. Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Whether it's diabetes, arthritis, or injury causing you foot and ankle problems, or excruciating pain in your heel that's often easily treatable, Dr. Cheryl Cheney has over 21 years in group and private practice as one of the region's leading podiatrists, and she's now practicing right here in Sayersville. Dr. Cheryl Stalder Cheney is now seeing new patients, young and old, at Hope Family Podiatry Center in Sayersville, just next to the Lee's Famous Recipe. Call for an appointment today. It's going to make for a great movie one day, that being the Conley Racing Team and their history and wherever they end up in the future, because it can only go up for these dedicated racers. They eat, breathe, and sleep drag racing, travel all over the nation to do it, and now have a series championship that they have brought home to Sayersville and Magoffin County. And they didn't do this, as they never do, without some serious wrenching and dedication. Maybe a little more in this past 2 weeks than they have in a while. They literally had to borrow a truck, actually two, to get to South Georgia. Right off the truck, they ran a 5.06 in the 8th, and that was after a rather rough 2 weeks to some degree in regards to repair and downtime and a few other obstacles they had to overcome. And it just kind of, I think, added a little more fuel to feed their fire, so to speak, when they got to Georgia for the Mercy 10 Showdown. More than 20 cars, with only one coming home to Magoffin County, a champion. Martin actually got back in around 6 o'clock this morning. This is just a few hours later when he was up and at it, unloading the orange car that we've featured on the show numerous times. By now, most everyone knows that the car actually belongs to Eddie and Maggie McCarty. Martin is always behind the wheel. And Eddie had to work this weekend, so the McCartys couldn't even be there to watch the car and Martin win. And as always, it's something that doesn't happen without a lot of help, even though by comparison, they only had a skeleton crew available with them this time. And that's after Martin's haul truck broke down a couple of weeks ago. Some close friends and fans offered up theirs for the last couple of weeks to get them back and forth to the track. And when they got to the track in Georgia this past week, the Conley Racing Team had to still keep rolling with the punches to roll to the first ever series championship.
From the outside looking in, it looks like we've had a stellar year, I guess, but we've had a lot of struggles. We had the car apart a lot at the racetrack. I was telling you, we got there and made 2 passes on Thursday. We actually went number 2 qualifier, and we come in and changed the transmission and from a 2-speed to a 3-speed, changed the rear end. We put new tires on the back of it. We had a hole in the front tire, one of the front tires, so we even had to change the front tire. And we had one shock leaking. We had to go get the shock rebuilt, but at them big races like that, you got a lot of manufacturers there, and you can get almost about any general thing for a race car you need, as long as it ain't nothing special. So we done all that in between one round. And I don't know if anybody's ever changed transmission on the ground, but we changed the transmission, rear end, 2 tires and shock in less than 2.5 hours. And we wasn't really humping it because we knew we had some time, so I think we could have done it in about an hour and 45 minutes.
They rolled into South Georgia on Thursday, missing Wednesday's first round qualifying. They got rained out all day Saturday, but did get to compete in the EXP 235 Series Championship, the second year for this class that has grown, much to the dedication like what the Conley Racing Team has, to over 20 cars at most of the races throughout the year, with everyone at South Georgia wanting to win the coveted hat, as well as a trophy befitting Thor if he was a race car driver, and the Axeman trophy for the quickest reaction time was just a bonus.
This year they had a points championship for DXP 235 series, 5 races, and we won 2 of the races We went #1 qualifier at all but one of the races, and one of the races actually got rained out, so there was no winner at that race. And we had the points championship sealed up. All we had to do was show up at this race, and we sealed the points championship up. So we won no mercy, and we sealed the points championship up with this race we just went to.
And as anyone who knows the Conley Racing team, or any professional team for that matter, you know that they just don't get it off the trailer and win. Races like these in Georgia this weekend are called marathons. They're days long, filled with car maintenance and repair, and monitoring track conditions literally by the second, because they can change in a second from the slightest of things.
Like in the final round, we was going to go out of the right lane, and about 20 seconds before I started the car up and they give me the go to pull in the water, we got headsets and radios, and Eric Mitchell, he said swap lanes. He said, we're going left, because the sun went behind the bleachers and the shade come over the left lane. And that makes a difference, because in seconds from the time the sun goes off of it, the shade comes on, it changes the lane. That makes it really hard, especially with the rain. You have to read the racetrack all week, and you have to make good decisions in eliminations, and we did. He made some real good decisions, Eric did. We went 5 flat every single round except for the one we went 499 on our bye run. So that got us through the rounds. We knew that was enough to win, and we just used what was enough to win and didn't try and push it.
And I just had to add this to the end of the story here, because it was so many hashtags out there in this world, but one in particular, one of the racing fans and fellow racer had giving accolades to the Conley Racing team. It doesn't matter what they race, they will find a way to get it to the finish line first. Hashtag built in a barn. That says it all, and it says a lot. With that said, here's going back to Friday Night Lights, just some quick updates on scores for your Magoffin and Johnson County teams, with now 2 weeks left to go in the regular season. Yeah, Pike Central came to the home of the Hornets and left with a big win, 6-42. Your final score. Magoffin County did muster 1 touchdown before the end of regulation, with 2 more games now left to try to make up a little ground before the end of the regular season schedule. Pike Central going home a 42-6 winner, leaving Magoffin County on the road this coming Friday at Clay County, and then hosting, of course, their last game of the season, Morgan County, on November the 1st. Magoffin County right now with 2 wins on the season, hoping to pick up at least 1 more if not 2 out of the last 2 games. While Johnson Central and the Golden Eagles are at the opposite end of the spectrum and still without a loss on the season. In fact, they are sitting at 8-0 right now after Friday night's win over Harlan County at home, and that puts Johnson Central firmly in the number 2 spot in Class 4A football, only behind Franklin County. Central's got 2 games left out of 10, both road games. The first coming this Friday night at Letcher County Central. The last will be a good one. November the 1st, they're traveling to Belfry to take on the Pirates. And Paintsville made it 3 in a row and 6 wins with their game on Friday night. They hosted Betsy Lane, 44-0, the final score for the Tigers. That puts the Tigers at 6-2, 2-2 in their class, 2-0 in their district, and they have 2 games left. They're both home games. They're hosting Raceland this Friday night and Lexington Christian the following, for the Paintsville Tigers looking for their 7th win this coming Friday night. Well, this front's giving us some really good showers coming, adding up to maybe an inch or so, and the possibility for some thunderstorms as well. And we've got a few other chances dotted throughout your forecast, which has temperatures pretty much staying close to where they should be for the downhill side of October. And, of course, by this time next week, we'll be talking about your Halloween outlook. With that in mind, we've got showers, like I said, blowing in sooner than later. All in all, I think up to an inch of rainfall during the evening, overnight. Early morning hours tomorrow will be the high end for the viewing area. You know, there are some storms possible, though, as we said, and that could put down a little more rain for some folks. Otherwise, we're going to see winds noticeable as well with this front as it blows through. So tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms pretty much for the remainder of the night and overnight. A southerly wind to start it off, 7 to 10 miles per hour on average, gusts upwards of 24 miles per hour, a quarter to a half inch of rain tonight. Showers mainly up until about 9, maybe 10 in the morning for the most part on your Tuesday. We will see more westerly winds tomorrow. Westerly, southwesterly, 6 to 11 and up to 25 miles per hour or so, again at times gusting about on your Tuesday. And even though the showers are going to be gone relatively early tomorrow, not so much for the winds. We're still clocking, we're expecting Tuesday night winds up to 18 miles per hour. Even Wednesday, sunny 62 and a southwesterly wind anywhere up to 21 miles per hour. Now, by Wednesday, you'll see temperatures are still going to be in the 60s, but we're going to be sunny and dry and still breezy. So we've got, counting this evening, 3 really bad hair days upon us. Thursday, still sunny, upper 60s, but calm. Winds, showers, not a problem. And in fact, we're talking sunny and partly cloudy and a really nice day in the neighborhood for your Thursday with temperatures very close to 70 degrees and a lot of sunshine above. And once again, the winds should be gone. By Friday, showers roll back in. Another setup gives us partly sunny and 65 expected and about a 30% chance of showers, mainly in the afternoon on Friday after 3 o'clock or so. And those shower chances will linger into your Friday night, into your Saturday, and your Saturday night, and into your Sunday as well, with temperatures taking another hit Saturday, daytime highs right around 60, still the mid-40s for nighttime lows. Sunday, a 30% chance of showers, but partly sunny, and closer to 70 at 68. Monday right now looks to be a completely dry day in your forecast, and of course that's as far as we can go in the forecast time-wise away, but mostly sunny and right around 64 degrees. And that's going to wrap it up just for the show, not for my evening or certainly for this week. A lot of ground and news to cover. Hope to see you here for the rest of it starting tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.